What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and I hope you are all having a wonderful Saturday. And come on, the Arsenal, of course, we're in the Champions League final in little over an hour's time, but I thought I'd bring you this very important video. Please like the video, share, subscribe to the channel. 90% of the people that pass through don't really hit the subscribe button. Anyway, in this video, I'm going to make it very quick for you. An opportunity of a lifetime is developing in the Sui blockchain. The second outage since January, the first one I reported. And of course, Sui has had these kind of FUD moments. And for many of you looking for the chart, I have already printed a macro sell signal on the weekly. And I've obviously shared that in the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, check out the links. However, there is a big macro signal developing for the Sui blockchain. So today I did an article. The article that I did was quite simple. The introduction of this article was to make it very clear that I am a massive fan of Sui and I will be accumulating Sui as it breaks down. As I told people that were annoying me saying, oh, it's over $1. What's going on? Look, I said, look, guys, calm down. It is a bear market and therefore you want to optimize your buy average, right? People don't really, Sui moves 5, 10%, 20%. People get overhyped, but this FUD is very much welcome in my opinion. So before I did this article, I said, look, it was clearly I hold Kas and Sui, and we were looking at a structural change in the proof of stake cryptocurrencies in general, move programming language. But I can tell you right now, the outage of Sui was not an attack or a hack, and it wasn't too much traffic. The issue was a core software failure, which is typically a trade-off for a fast layer one. Now, if I put your minds back into the original layer one, the original bad boy big L1 that had transaction freezes, bot attacks, consensus failures, it was Solana. Back in 2020, Solana suffered its first attack or outage. It was called a bug in its turbine block propagation system. The system went down for 6 hours. Of course, it held or halted all consensus. And then, of course, there was the initial DEX offering or the IDO for Radium, which spammed the network with crazy amount of data, 17 hours. January 2022, there was another outage here. This was a transactions dropping by 70%. And the issue was a duplication and a spam into the blockchain. And then what you had was the Candy Machine bot swarm. And this was like NFT farming. This was back in May 2022. And it continued. There's kind of these issues came up. But what they've done is they started to localize fee markets and stake weighted. They changed the bandwidth and they did a few other batches and over time, Solana network got better. Sui's first real issue was back in 2024. If you remember, November 2024, Sui suffered a outage basically because of transaction proximity, 2.5 hours of no transactions being processed, and this was like called the transaction scheduling bug. And then what happened was in January this year, the one I reported, a software flaw related to the consensus had an issue. That's number 2. And again, this was 6 hours requiring a coordinated upgrade across the network. And of course, today or yesterday or May 28th, logic and restart bug, a highly disruptive back-to-back outages, of course, related to the software release. A crash in the bug of the network's gas, charging logic, specifically interacting with a new address balances feature, froze the block production. So I've given you the Solana angle. I've given you the Sui angle. Is this enough for you to now sell your Sui bags and run away? Absolutely not. In fact, you should be doing the opposite, because we have a macro sell print here. I just need it to be A+ quality. Now, if you look at this, right? If you look at this on the daily, what you would notice is back in the, let's have a look at this. So if you look at this here, we had this on the 2 days. It came up to the 100-day moving average. And of course, we printed a sell signal on the 9th of May. And it has been going down ever since. Now, that was printed around $1.40. So right now, we've got the macro sell print here. We had a crossover here, and we've got a macro sell print here that appeared on the 25th. Price is at 90 cents. I won't be surprised. We had a local, I'd probably say this is the bear market low so far, 78 cents. There was a manipulation wick back in October, which was 57 and some change. Of course, I don't expect it to go there, but 60 cents. If it doesn't hold 83 cents, I believe we will get another chance at the low 70s on that wick. It's all going to be driven by the macro. It's going to be driven by Bitcoin. As for the Kaspa angle, I wanted to explain BlockDAG and the proof of work. I mean, they don't have network fragility. Okay. The Sui freeze was about $1 billion in assets temporarily. Like I said, it wasn't a hack. It was just a software failure from a recent 1.72 update. All validators entered the loop and the network froze. Fortunately, no funds were lost. Okay. But primarily, I mean, I make the comparison here with Solana. And essentially what I do here is this only gives Kaspa and BlockDAG and you know, this kind of gives Kaspa even more credit, in my opinion. Like I said, I think Sui will do very well, but the BlockDAG is also getting a shout out here from me because it does not suffer from any of these inherent issues because it doesn't use linear blockchain or rigid validator quorums. It uses a BlockDAG directed acyclic graph, secured proof of work. So there you have it, guys. You know, Kaspa looks bullish. I think Sui, in the meantime, is, of course, going to have to play out this bear market. But I would still buy Sui any day of the week. And I won't be surprised if the bigwigs at some point conspire to run it all the way to the moon. And that's what they'll do, right? They'll always go back and tell you, oh, okay, it is bearish now and whatever. But this is going to be a Solana rotation in the long run. Smash a like, guys. Like I said, like the video, subscribe to the channel. God bless you all. And I'll catch you on the next video. Come on, Arsenal.